Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Sports Hub. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Moden Sinkala, also called Ntapechela Mwanakwilanzi. Well, we have a jam-packed program. Last when we were here, we dedicated the whole show to the Copper Queens of Zambia and Mayors of Botswana because the two teams have qualified for the Africa Women Cup of Nations to be held in Morocco this July. And today, I'm dedicating the show to the mixed martial arts. Recently, a Zambian team participated in the African Championship, and one of the fighters, Ken Nyaondo Sekeletu, reaped a silver medal. Feel free to participate on the program by calling 0211 25 30 25 or 0211 25 08 43. Or you can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0955 20 29 04. If you're a social media freak, send us your comments and contributions to Sports Hub Facebook page or Modern Sinkala Sports. Well, on how much you know your sportsmen and women segment, last time I was here, I showed you a clip of a football match and I asked you then to name the opponents that Zambia faced and when. So let's just refresh your minds regarding the clip that I showed you the last time I was here, where I asked you to mention Zambia's opponents and also when the match took place. So actually that match involved Zambia and South Africa. It was the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier. So if you can just show it just now so that people can refresh their minds. That's the match which involved Zambia and South Africa. And you can see that that's the late, the scorer of that goal is the late Timothy Mwitwa. Lovely goal there. And you can see the celebration and well, great goal there. So that was the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier match, which was played on 30th August 1992 in South Africa. And Timothy, the teacher Mwitwa, of course, the assist coming from Gibi Mbasela, who is also the late. And Timothy teacher Mwitwa died on 28th April 1993. In that fateful Gabon air disaster. Very sad indeed. So that's the clip in case you didn't know about it. That's the team that we had then. Zambia was very proud to have that team. But I have another one for you. It's another clip. I want you to tell me the goal scorer in that international friendly match between Zambia and Malawi, and Zambia won 1-0. That was an international friendly match where Zambia beat Malawi by a 0-0. The game was played in 2020. Would you know who the goal scorer is? Call us on 0211 25 30 25 or 0211 25 08 43 or a WhatsApp message on 0955 20 29 04. On Facebook, it's Sports Hub Facebook page or Modern Sinkala Sports. So let your phone start working right now. Let's look at what happened over the weekend. We start with netball in the Midlands Netball Association Mina League. Week 5 games played at the tennis club in Kabwe, Central Province on Saturday. It was NAPSA 29, Green Buffaloes 51. Of course, this is in the women's category. Sporting Action 29, Nkwazi 70, Red Arrows 46, Green Eagles 47, Lusaka City Council 40, Mazabuka United nil. This was a walkover result. Unza nil, Prison Leopards 40. This was another walkover result because the team did not travel. In the men's category, it was Green Buffaloes 43, Nkwazi 29. So right now, Green Buffaloes are doing very well. They are on top of the table as we are talking right now. Congratulations to Green Buffaloes. Then in second position is Prison Leopards, who have the same number of points, 15 points, but they are behind in terms of goal difference. Let's look at the Zava National League Week 3 results. Saturday, it was Flight Spikers 2, Green Buffaloes 3. That's in the women's category. Nkwazi 3, Red Arrows nil. Prison Leopards 2, Green Buffaloes 3. Then Nkwazi the game between Nkwazi and Flight Spikers was postponed. In the men's category, Nkwazi 3, Solwezi Akas nil. City of Lusaka 2, Nakonde 3, NAPSA 2, Green Eagles 3, Red Arrows nil, Chalube 3, Prison Leopards 2, City of Lusaka 3, Nakonde 3, Solwezi Akas 2, Green Buffaloes 3, Red Arrows nil. Nkwazi versus Chalube, this game was also postponed. On Sunday, it was NAPSA 1, Prison Leopards 3. That's in the men's category. Green Eagles 3, Solwezi Akas nil. Green Buffaloes 3, Chalube nil. Nkwazi 3, Prison Leopards nil. Unza 3, Nakonde 2. Red Arrows 3, Solwezi Akas nil. In the women's category, it was Prison Leopards 3, Unza nil. Red Arrows nil, Flight Spikers 3. That's in the world of volleyball. Let's now go to the world of rugby in the Zambia Rugby Union League with 3 results. Saturday, in the National League, it was Diggers 10, Mufulira Leopards 12, KPF 72, Konkola 7, Lusaka 7, and Green Eagles 11. Ndola nil, Red Arrows 103. What a white 106, Red Arrows 106. What a whitewash it was. In the President's League, Green Buffaloes 26, Nkwazi 3, Ron 13, Shibuluma 10, then Kansanshi 23, Nchanga 7. In the women's category, Diggers nil, Mufulira Leopards 95. It was another whitewash here in the women's category. Okay, from rugby we go to football. In the CAF Champions League semi-finals on Friday, it was Wydad Casablanca 1, Petro de Luanda of Angola 1. So Wydad Casablanca won 4-2 on aggregate and qualified to the final. On Saturday, it was ES Setif 2 and Al Ahly 2. Then on aggregate, Al Ahly of Egypt won by 6-2 and qualified to the final. So in the final, which will be played on Monday, 29th May 2022, it will be Al Ahly of Egypt versus Wydad Casablanca of Morocco. It will be a cracker of the final in the CAF Champions League. Then in the CAF Confederation Cup semi-finals on Sunday, it was RS Pekan 4, TP Mazembe 1. TP Mazembe were whitewashed. Actually, they were doing very well because it was 1-1 at some point, and TP Mazembe were going to qualify to the final, but they allowed RS Pekan to come from behind and win by 4-1. Tandy Mwape was in that game and was given a second yellow card and given matching orders after he received a red card. Kabaso Chongo also played in that game. Then Orlando Pirates nil, Al Ahly 1, and Pirates won 2-1 on aggregate. So in the final, it will be Orlando Pirates versus RS Pekan of Morocco. Orlando Pirates, of course, of South Africa. So that will be the final, which will be played on 20th May 2022. Let's go to the English Premier League. On Sunday, it was Tottenham Hotspur 1, Burnley 0. So with this result, Tottenham Hotspur went into top 4 of the English Premier League. Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 1, Leeds United 1, Brighton and Hove Albion, Enoch Mwepu's team 1. Then Watford 1, Patson Daka's Leicester City 5, West Ham United 2, Manchester City 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Norwich City 1, Everton 2, Brentford 3. And right now as we are talking, Newcastle are hosting Arsenal. It's a very important game for Arsenal because they need to win for them to go back to top 4. If they lose, then Tottenham will remain in top 4. So It's a very important game to Arsenal. And tomorrow at 20:45, Southampton will host Liverpool. So let's look at how they're standing on the table. Manchester City still topping. They've played 37 games. They have 90 points. Then Liverpool have played 36 games. They have 86 points. In third position, Chelsea. They've played 36 games, 70 points. Tottenham Hotspur in fourth position, 37 games and 86 points. Of course, for the rest of the teams, you can see for yourself on the table. Right, and finally, in terms of results in the English FA Cup final, on Saturday, it was Chelsea 0 and Liverpool 0, but Liverpool, of course, won on penalties 6-5. Right, so that's what happened over the weekend. Time for me now to welcome my guests in the studio for today. Like I said earlier, I'm featuring guests from mixed martial art. We want to understand what the sport is all about. And recently, a team from Zambia was sent to South Africa to go and compete in the African Championship. So the first one is Kelvin Chishimba. Kelvin, warm welcome to Sports Hub. Of course, Kelvin Chishimba, he was part of the team that participated in the African Championship. He also has a level 1 coaching course, coaching certificate, actually in mixed martial art. Welcome to Sports Hub, Kelvin.
Thank you.
All right. We also have Nkata. He was also part of the African Championship, an IT technician by profession. Welcome to Sports Hub.
Thank you.
So if we have any problems in terms of ICT, we have an ICT technician here. Right. We also have a lady. So the gentlemen are accompanied by a lady. Her name is Miracle Chipito. She is one of the few Zambian women participating in mixed martial art. Well, there she is. Miracle Chipito. I hope we'll have a lot of miracles here today. That's Miracle. Well, I know there are very few women participating in mixed martial art. And shortly, we'll be joined by the president, who is the president for the Mixed Martial Arts Zambia. And his name is Benjamin Bush. Very soon I'll be introducing him as he adds up to this conversation. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sports Hub.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, all right. Let me start with Kelvin. Tell us more about yourself. Who is Kelvin? Where were you born from? When? And how was your upbringing like?
My name is Kelvin Chishimba. I was born in 1999, 31 December. Yes, in George Compound. I started training martial arts in 2010 at OIDC. Yeah, that was it was Taekwondo. Then after that, that's when in 2015, I started training full contact Kyokushin Karate. Then in 2015, 16, 17, I started training mixed martial art. Yeah.
Okay. How did you gain interest in martial art?
Since when I was 10, my cousin is the one who was training karate. So even me, I started like gaining interest. Oh, I also want to be like him. Yeah, that's how it was.
Okay, not that maybe you were mistreated when you were young and you thought, no, it's like a good training land.
No, it wasn't about that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me move to the lady, Miracle. Tell us more about yourself.
Okay, my name is Miraculous Shoda Chipito. I was born in 1999.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you born from? And
I grew up in the village.
where?
Chitanda.
Huh?
Chitanda.
Chitanda? Chitanda, isn't that in Matero?
No, like we call it Kwachitanda.
Okay.
Somewhere as if you are going to Momba.
Okay, but in Central Province. Ah, okay. Great.
Yeah.
How did you gain interest in martial art?
I think since when I was young, I used to love, I don't know, let me just say I used to love finding myself into fighting with different people. So, and then from there, I never used to love losing, even when I'm fighting with somebody. And then my main aim was like, okay, I think when I grow up, I need to train. I need to start beating guys. That was my main things. But after growing up and then let me just say, after joining the martial art, I've learned a lot of different things, especially discipline.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, I think fighting is it's not a good thing, but on other side, it's a good thing because it also taught us how we can discipline ourselves, how you
Okay.
avoid some certain things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up playing with boys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear from Mwelwa. Very interesting names. Mwelwa, I know, is from Bembaland in Kata from the eastern.
Yeah.
Tell us about that combination.
Yeah, so my mom is, she's Bemba, and my dad is Tumbuka from Eastern. So I have 3 other siblings. I'm the last born, and so my mom demanded that she have this one. So she named me a Bemba name, so that I would always remember my heritage.
Ah, interesting. So tell us about your upbringing.
My upbringing was great. I was born here in Lusaka at UTH. I was born and raised here in Lusaka. I'm 27 now, and I've been competing for roughly about a year and a half or 2 years in mixed martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a great experience so far.
Okay. How did you gain interest in martial arts?
I was just always a fan, you know. I was in high school and you were just watching YouTube, and some videos were recommended to me, you know, like highlights of fights. So after that, I just gained an interest in it. Like most people, I was just watching. But then one day, a friend of mine, we started training together. We were just training by ourselves, teaching ourselves. And then we moved on to a gym. And then someone recommended we go to a mixed martial arts gym. And from there, it just kept going. It was just for the love of the sport at first. We just wanted to experience it, to see what our heroes were also living. But then it just kept going. We kept training every day, and then it just became a full-blown thing, a full profession for us.
Great, great. Okay, well, even as we are waiting for those calls from you, the viewers out there, the question was, who is that scorer, the one who scored the goal in that friendly match between Zambia and Malawi? So the line is right there on your screen. The time to call is now. So we have another special guest, the president of Mixed Martial Art Zambia. His name is Benjamin Bush. Welcome. We'll be finding out whether he's related to George W. Bush. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us, Benjamin.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
All right. A bit of a background about yourself.
Okay, no relation to George Bush, unfortunately. But I was born here in Zambia, also in UTH. So, yeah, and I ended up going to school in the UK. And that's where I actually got into mixed martial arts. My interest in martial arts started here, watching Kung Fu films, etc. I ended up taking a little bit of karate before I went to the UK. Then when I was in the UK, I did a bit of Kung Fu. And eventually I fell into mixed martial arts in about 2003. Then from there, I got quite heavily into the sport. My team was very active. We had the instructor fought in the UFC 5 times. We had some other athletes who got into the UFC, into Bellator, into some of these other promotions. And I ended up cornering a lot of fighters and getting a lot of insight and interacting with some of the bigger teams and meeting athletes such as Jose Aldo and people like this, and that's where my passion for the sport grew. Then I came back out to Zambia and began teaching MMA at Central Sports, the judo hall in Central Sports. That's where Ken Nyando Sekaletu and Kelvin Chishimba, a number of other very accomplished mixed martial arts athletes started training with me. And, you know, I could see straight away that there was a huge amount of talent in Zambia, you know, and I always wanted to do something. I wanted to come back to Zambia. I wanted to do something that can give back to Zambia, which is somewhere that I'm very passionate about. You know, I have a lot of love for this country. We got the athletes up to a very high standard, but we couldn't get them any fights. You know, the closest we came to getting them mixed martial arts fights was for them to actually travel all the way down to Namibia and fight in kickboxing. So we decided, let's try and set up an association. Let's try and create pathways for these athletes to, you know, have an outlet where they can actually compete in a safe environment and, you know, gain the experience they need before they go on to become professional athletes.
Okay, all right. So now you're a fully fledged association which is affiliated to the National Sports Council of Zambia.
Yeah, so we're very blessed. National Sports Council accepted us in October last year. We're recognized by National Sports Council. We're also affiliated to the International Mixed Martial Arts Federation, which is the governing body for amateur mixed martial arts. It has over 140 federation members from different nations. In Africa, there's 19 federations and growing at a very fast rate. And you know, what we have done is we've worked very hard to lay the groundwork so that there are pathways for athletes not only to compete but also to become trained, to become coaches, to open gyms, to understand the industry, to be able to give back to their communities. So we want to use the sport for positive social change, which sounds like a buzzword, but the truth is that's what we really want to do, and we're very passionate about it. So we're working hard to that end.
Okay, so so from the time you affiliated to National Sports Council of Zambia, what have you done so far between October and now?
We had the first ever symposium where we had Chris Cyborg come out to Zambia. Chris Cyborg is a UFC, Bellator, Invicta and Strikeforce champion. She's the only athlete to actually hold 4 titles in 4 different promotions. So she came out to Zambia, and our symposium, we had a lot of different seminars and training programs. We talked about how marketing for athletes. We talked about career progression pathways. We talked about legal aspects of the sport, contracts, etc., safety, anti-doping, and many other aspects of the sport. But Chris Cyborg being here was huge. It was over 4 days, and I think you know, she helped shine a lot of attention, and we launched the Women's Commission at that point. Since then, we also hosted we sanctioned the first ever mixed martial arts event, CFC1, and CFC1 is City Fight Club, is the team that they have a gym in Lewanika Stadium. That's where Kelvin Chishimba and a number of and Ken Sekaletu, they all train out of there. So we sanctioned that event, and in order to do so, you know, obviously we had to meet the standards of our governing body. So the medicals had to be the pre-fight medicals, post-fight medicals, the weigh-ins, the officiating. We had to bring in a certified referee from South Africa, etc. So we hosted that event, and Mwelwa was actually the very first fight at the very first mixed martial arts event in Zambia, and he won his bout by decision after only training with me, I think, 4 months. So, you know, very impressed. Kelvin is just a phenom, actually. You know, it didn't go his way at the Africa Championships, but what I can say about Kelvin is he was ready to turn pro a long time ago. You know, he has all the qualities that it takes to go far in the sport. And thankfully, now that we are about to launch the National Amateur League, he's going to be able to gain that experience. And then when he turns pro, you know, his star is going to shine.
Okay, what about Miraculous?
Miraculous. Well, what can I say about Miraculous? She hits very hard. Let's put it like that. So Miraculous is going to be part of the first ever women's bout to ever take place in Zambia. She'll be taking on Tinta. What's Mutinta's surname? Mwina, I think. Say again? Mwene. Yeah. So, Miracle and Mutinta will make history. And, she's a very exciting fighter. She's very, very good on her feet, very athletic. Mutinta is very good on the ground. It's really going to be one to watch. And that's going to be August the 14th. That's going to be the launch of the Zambia National Amateur League. And it really is something that we implore, sponsors. If you want to be involved in the fastest growing sport in the world and the most exciting sport, okay, that's arguable, obviously. And I believe, it's argued as well that it's the second most watched sport on DSTV in Zambia. So, with all those things being said, we do ask that sponsors come and support our athletes, because what we're trying to do is lay the framework for opportunities for athletes and for athletes to give back to their communities and for us to create future stars and role models.
Okay, before I come to the athletes, let me get the difference between a mixed martial art and just the normal martial art like karate and all that.
Okay, so it's a good question. Mixed martial arts is a sport. It's a sport that takes place within a set of rules. Lots of different styles of martial arts and traditions of martial arts can be applied within those rules. So because it's a combat sport, it is governed by those rules and the fight area. So it's not a traditional martial art, it's a functional sport with elements of lots of different martial arts, and it's always growing and adapting. So what you find with mixed martial arts is that the striking comes from various different striking arts, Muay Thai being the most prevalent, applicable and functional of the forms, but karate is there, Taekwondo, and then you have the wrestling side of it, because you are allowed to take the fight to the floor. You can still strike on the floor, so you've got and you can strike in the transition. So you've got wrestling, judo, sambo, sanshao, all these types of the techniques from those martial arts apply themselves perfectly to mixed martial arts. Judo as well, I think I said that. And then of course, once it goes to the ground, you have grappling and submissions, choke holds, arm locks, leg locks, and all of those, they kind of fit under the banner of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but the truth is, because they're striking, it's not simply Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, all right. Let me get to the athletes now. Let me start with you, Mwelwa. How was your experience at the African Championship? That was your first major event. How can you describe that event for you?
It was a great experience. It was really exciting. Like we fought on an international level with international athletes, so they're the best in our field, in the continent as well.
Really lovely shot that got through.
I gained
Stunned
a lot.
Moeli there for a minute. He's done well though too.
I feel like it's changed me a lot. Like it's given me a little more skill set. I know what I have to do now. I know what kind of.
And that's you there.
That's me, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't an easy fight, but I'm glad I had it because it really showed me the levels that we need to reach as Zambian fighters. I fought a really good guy. He had 16 fights. I had 1. So it was really encouraging because I think he was never able to take me out, and in the end I pushed him. I pushed him hard, and I wanted to win the fight at the end. It wasn't my day, unfortunately, but that's okay. Like, losing is part of the sport. You just take it on the chin and move forward. I'm looking forward to my next fight. I really want to redeem my loss, and I really want to showcase my skills because after that fight, I think I've gained a lot of experience.
Okay, why do you think you lost it in that fight?
That's a good question, Modern. I would say it was experience. I think there was a bit of nerves as well. It was a big stage. There was a lot of people watching. I knew there was a lot of people watching, and I felt like I had a lot of pressure. But in the end, I fought a guy who was better than me. That's the honest truth. I can't make any excuses. I got in there with a guy who had a lot of experience. Allegedly, his name is Nathaniel Komana. People can look him up. He's a very good fighter. Very nice guy as well, which is not good. Sometimes you just want to fight someone you don't like. But he was a nice guy, and he was a very experienced. He was a very experienced. He had 16 fights. That was my second amateur fight. So there was a difference in levels. I would say his experience really paid off. He put pressure on me, which was something I wasn't used to. Even in training, I'm not always used to that. I'm usually the one going forward. So it was just a different experience, fighting a guy who had a lot more training than me. I think he's been 8 years in the sport. So it's just experience, and I'm catching up. So I'm looking forward to my next one.
Right. Anything that you learned from that experience at the African Championship?
Yeah, definitely just to be calm. I feel like as soon as that fight was over, I knew what it was that I was lacking. I knew what the skills I had to train. So definitely just the calmness and to like being in the eye of the storm, so to speak. So when someone is coming at you, bringing pressure, the most important thing is to look him in the eye. As he's coming forward, you stay calm, stay composed. So that was something that I didn't know I didn't have. So now it's been revealed to me, and I feel as though, like just after that, I felt like I was a better fighter.
Okay, all right. Let me get to Miraculous. As a female, getting into martial arts, what did your parents tell you when they heard you were joining martial arts?
Actually, they just said, okay, if you want to do that, you can do it. But they don't need it. They don't really pay much attention to that. They just say, okay, that's how she is. That's how to do it. But I just want to prove them one day that this is not just something like something which is going to be in vain. No, I need to show them that one day I'm going to do it, so that I just want to make them believe that in everything you invest in, you can achieve something. As long as I should put more effort, I want to take their complaints away. I just want to show them that it's not just part of, I don't know, my other characters or maybe craziness outside there. But I want to assure them that this is something that is going to benefit me in future.
Okay. No one has ever discouraged you that, no, look, you are beautiful, and the sport you're going into, you'll be disfigured and all that. Actually,
that's my major problem that I do face outside there. Especially people just come, oh, so you do that, why? How come? And why are you doing this? A lot of people, they do come. If I were you, I wouldn't have do it. Sometimes when there's a moment whereby I train hard, I go to the gym, because you need to be prepared, you need to be conditioned before going to the cage. So sometimes you find that my muscles sometimes are strong and all that thing. So sometimes when I just hit somebody, I'll be like, oh, your body is too strong. Why are you like this? You're like a man. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. And I enjoy being like a man. So it is okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I fear for the future husband.
No, we're not a violent people. Actually, we are very disciplined. It's very hard for me to pick up a fight. Even if somebody out there comes and starts shouting at me, insulting me, I'll prefer to walk away than picking up a fight. Okay. Unless if that person comes and hit me or maybe push me to the wall, yes, maybe I will respond.
Defend yourself.
Yeah, I'll defend myself. But no, just even if somebody insults me, I'd prefer to walk away and cry a lot. Or just go, that's hate, but I can't fight because it can also show a bad respect to the organization. It will look as if I'm not trained, I'm not disciplined. But for the sake of the organization and for my good reputation as a fighter, I need to maintain discipline.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's hear from Kelvin. How was your experience at the African Championship?
Yeah, my experience was okay. According to my experience, I learned a lot because we met different people from different countries. The crowd. Yeah, so my experience, according to the experience which I learned, it has also make me kill the fear when you go to the tournament, when you see the crowd, different people coming in different countries. So that's what I can say.
Okay, so you had only one fight in the quarterfinals and you lost.
Yes.
What happened in that fight?
Okay, like when I was entering in the ring, I was well prepared.
And that's you there.
Yeah,
You see
that's me.
the unique haircut.
I was well prepared, and I scanned the guy that this fight I'm going to win, but suddenly things just changed. I couldn't feel myself like the way I was feeling myself inside the ring, so I don't know what happened there.
Do you feel maybe you were also lacking experience, maybe you were facing a better fighter?
No. I was well prepared, and I could feel myself that this fight I'm going to win, but suddenly things just turn around. I don't know what happened.
Is that fighter from Angola?
Yes.
Angola fielded a really good team, excellent team. They're a very, very good federation, very well trained athletes in all areas. And actually, Kelvin fought a great fight to begin with. It's only later on that you know that same feeling that you're talking about starts to happen to you, because you know you notice it in the corner, and I think a lot of it is to do with anxiety, nerves, being in there for the first time, the crowd, the experience is overwhelming, but Kelvin put it on. You can see he's in a dominant position at this point in time.
He dominated, right?
He's taken the fight to his opponent. He's now looking for a submission. I believe you go for a armbar, and the armbar is actually on at one point. So it's you get reversed at this point. He's been reversed. You can see the combination of wrestling now. That's Kelvin. He's just thrown on an armbar, so he's got an arm lock, and this is actually hurting his opponent. And what you're looking for is the opponent to tap. But this Angolan guy, he's very good. He understands his body mechanics, and he's managing to navigate and get his arm out of trouble. So now is the situation where Kelvin needs to sort of disengage at this point. But it's a struggle. It's a difficult fight,
So from your own observation, Benjamin, where do you think Kelvin lost it?
I think again, it's an experience situation. I think that coming from this, I think actually what happens is you'll see later on. I still believe that Kelvin is fighting a good fight, even at this point. Yes, this is a dangerous situation. This is towards the end of the round. But at the start of the next round, that's where things are not going Kelvin's way. And I think that is because of the strong finish right here. So I believe that it's an experience thing. You learn that you grow as a person in the ring, in the cage. And I think all the athletes who entered there for the first time leave better people. Win or lose. And to be honest, there's a lot of truth to the saying that a loss teaches you far more than a win. As martial artists, I think we all know this. This is the truth of,
Kelvin, wali mu tight situation pale mabijo ziratwamona.
Yeah, wali tight situation.
Hey, wali mabatu wala survive.
Yeah.
But I think Kelvin, like the truth is that you had a lot of anxiety going into that fight, because you were. He came in underweight, and his opponent cut weight and put the weight back on. So the opponent outweighed him in there, and I feel that played a part, and energy levels played a part, and preparation, and all these things. So it all comes together in the fight, but there's a huge journey from where you are to getting to the fight, and part of that journey plays a part in the fight itself, So
Okay.
they actually say that the fight is in the preparation. The fight itself is the fun.
Okay, all right. So now, Benjamin, what are you doing to roll out this sport to other parts of the country? I know this show is watched by a lot of people from far-flung areas. So
Yeah.
the people from Luapula, Eastern Province, Northwestern Province, Southern Province. What are you doing to spread the sport across?
Okay, so we want to roll out a nationwide development program. So we want to engage all the regions, you know. But we also understand that this sport is a sport that requires people to be trained, you know, coaches to be at a certain level, and the facilities to have the correct equipment, so you know, to avoid injury. And for that end, we're going to have workshops, countrywide workshops that lead towards coaching certificates. The coaching certificates are internationally recognized coaching certificates. Once an athlete has attained a certain level, belt level, then they can take part in the coaching course. If they get the coaching certificate, they can register their team. They can have athletes compete through them into the National Amateur League. So we have a strategy and a roadmap towards countrywide development of the sport, and it also includes a vulnerable youth program to help young kids or disadvantaged kids, and it's incorporated into the growth of the sport. So the most important thing to say, I believe, is that there's a reason why we are rolling out an amateur league, and the reason why we want athletes to stay amateur for 10 fights, and that's because you need to get the experience at amateur. If you turn pro, and say for instance an athlete wants to turn pro, they travel down to South Africa or Nigeria and they start fighting pro, they won't necessarily have the experience to capitalize on their innate ability. Instead, they'll be learning as they go in a hostile environment where they will most likely be made sure that they're the underdog.
Okay.
So if they compete nationally here in Zambia, they'll be able to get the experience so that when they turn pro, they're on the road to success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, very quickly, Benjamin, I know that Zambia did not walk out of the African Championship empty-handed.
No.
At least there was a silver medal from Ken.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So if you can just see the visuals from one of the fights by Ken, he ripped a medal, and that's a podium finish there by Ken.
Yeah, that's Ken, and Ken is there with the silver medal, and next to him is Luis Mateo, who's from Zimbabwe, with the gold, and then we have a Namibian athlete in the bronze position. No, we're extremely proud. I mean, you know, for Zambia to go to the Africa Championships and for us to field a team where we achieved everything that we achieved, and for Ken to make it to the finals and to be highly touted coming out of this, you know, everybody is talking about the finale between Ken and Lewis, because it was pretty much the fight of the tournament. It was the most complete fight, you know.
Did you expect that Zambia was going to come back with any medal at that championship?
I actually believe that Zambia would have come back with 5 medals had we had the opportunity to get the rest of the team out. We had issues at passport office. You know, the passports took 3 weeks to come out instead of the express that we paid for, even with cover letters from National Sports Council. So we weren't able to go with the team that we wanted to field, in which case the morale was slightly lower than it could have been. So I genuinely believe we could have left there with 5 medals, all 5 athletes getting on the podium, because I believe that the mood would have changed and everybody would have had that different, you know, feeling of, you know, camaraderie that would have propelled us to where it needed to be. It was there, it was there, don't get me wrong, but I just feel that the athletes traveling together as a team and not being let down by the system would have provided us what we needed. So.
All right. Let me get to the athletes now. Gentlemen, your last words. How far do you want to reach in your career? Let me start with you, Kelvin.
Me, I just want to turn professional and go and compete in UFC, Bellator, or One Championship. Yeah.
Okay, great. What about you, Miraculous?
For me, I really want to Okay, I think I'll be in the system for so many years.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really need to assure the world that even women, we can do what men can do. We can do it. I think out of 100%, 80% women, we can do what men can do.
Okay.
Yeah, I
You
think.
thought about the upcoming fight against Mutinda?
Yeah, I'm ready for her. I'm very much late for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mwerwa, how far do you want to go in your career?
Yeah, pro is the dream for all us fighters. But you know, for me, I never even thought I'd get this far. To be honest, to be selected for the African Championships, it was just a great honor. So I've just been thinking, you know, no expectations, just give your best every day. So that's what I've been doing, and no matter how far I go, I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Okay, great. Okay, so gentlemen, stay here. Lady and gentlemen, because there's a challenge at the end of the day, something you don't do usually. So stay here. But for now, we join Malulu, Julius. What's trending? Good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Moden, and thank you so much for having me. And it's good to be here. How are you doing this evening?
Very well, thanks. Tell us what's trending.
All right, we have interesting stuff, Moden, that are trending as far as social media is concerned. The first item to talk about is Brenda Kunda, who recently was just appointed as COSAFA EXCO member. Now, remember, Moden.
Voted in, actually.
Exactly. Now, remember, Moden, that Brenda Kunda is former Football Association of Zambia EXCO member. She saved in the EXCO from 2016 to 2021. And in those elections, actually, that took place in Namibia, about 8 nominees in those elections. And we are so proud that our very own Zambian emerged victorious. And she's part of the COSAFA executive Moden. Congratulations to our very own Brenda Kunda. Then the second item that we have on our social media, what's happening as far as social media is concerned, Moden, is this really is a sad story for me, Moden, because this is a former junior Wimbledon champion, British Laura Robson, has retired at the age of 28 because she's undergone 3 hip surgeries. So she's decided to retire from active tennis, Moden, because she's not able to continue because of the 3 operations that she's undergone. Very, very sad, because this is a young talent that has retired at an early age. So really, I feel bad that she's retired. And then the third item that we have on our social media trend is Golo Kante. It's a very sad story, Moden, for the Chelsea fans. Golo Kante is not likely to be with Chelsea the next coming season. He's likely to move to one of the big teams in England.
And he's like the engine of Chelsea.
Exactly, he's a central midfielder that Chelsea has, and very reliable actually player that Chelsea has, and also a very reliable player for France. So very sad that he's leaving Chelsea, but I think it's a good move for him to be able to explore and get to move to another team.
Where is he likely to go?
Well, Manchester United, because the new coach for Manchester United wants him, so he's likely to go to Manchester United. Okay, let's move to the last item on our social media. Our very own former Zambia international striker, Moden, Jacob Malenga, has finally retired from football at the age of 38. He actually retired today. He actually played his last game over the weekend, and he came in as a substitute, and he managed to score a goal. What a good way of retiring, scoring a goal in your last game, and he's finally said goodbye. Now, something interesting about Jacob Moden, I must tell you this, is that this is one of the few guys that have represented the country in as far as playing international football is concerned, and has invested so much back home, back in Zambia. Recently on social media, we had seen photos of him building a church in Kitwe. So really, it's a good thing, and I think personally, I'm so proud of him, and I'm so proud of achievements that he has made, and also he really represented us very well in as far as representing the country is concerned, and also playing for the national team. So huge congratulations to Jacob Malenga, and I must say that we are very much proud as soccer fans that he has decided to retire from active football. These are some of the items that we had in as far as social media trend is concerned, more than on our program this evening.
Thank you very much, Julius. And one interesting thing is that Jacob retires at the age of 38. and he was the oldest player to score in the Dutch league. But here in Zambia, we have James Chamanga still playing at 42. And he's strong and still playing. Interesting. All right, so for now, we take a break. And when we come back, I'll subject my guests to challenges. We take a musical break.
Jazzy boy, Zambia, lazy Zambia. King Kande, Kayambo, the king of the dance hall. Felix Feligo. Zambia, ingijo mupira Zambia, atachi, mupike bola,
Okay, time for ball juggling now. I know they are mixed martial artists. They're used to fighting, but this time they will juggle the ball. Who is ready to start?
I can start.
Okay, Kelvin is going first. So, there you started by yourself. There you are. So you don't drop the ball. Those are the rules.
Okay.
And the time starts now. 1, 2, 3. Only 3. Okay, let's see what the lady can do. Because she said, what a lady can do, a man can do. What a man can do, a lady can do. Let's see. Your time starts now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Kelvin, and I think she was right. Let's see what Mwera can do here. 1, 2, 3.
It's been a long time.
It's been long, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the president can save them. Let's see.
Can see, I've got 2 left feet, so I don't think so.
Let's see. 1.
One. Sorry.
Now this is very interesting. Okay, who is thinking maybe they didn't do well, but they can do it perfectly now?
Me,
Okay,
I can
let's
try.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh!
Okay,
trying.
Mwero has done very well. Let's see if the lady can do better than Mwero.
Okay, let's try.
1, 2. Okay, you've done worse than you did earlier.
So I can
very
try.
quickly.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Well done. You've improved.
Yeah, we
Okay,
got
so we
through.
end the program here. Thank you so much for joining us. I was hosting the martial artists, the president of the Mixed Martial Arts Zambia, and they recently competed at the African Championship in South Africa. So until next week, when I come with another set of guests, my name is Modern Ntapechela Sinkara Mwana wa Piranzi. Next week at the same time. Goodbye.